Have you ever wondered if your array is empty or if it actually contains some items? It can be a bit tricky, especially if you're not sure how to check. Today, we're going to tackle this question and show you exactly how to determine if your array has any items. I totally get it. It can be frustrating to work with arrays and not know if they hold any data. You're not alone in this. Many developers face this issue when starting out. Here's the specific question we're addressing. A user asked, "How can I check if my integer array is empty or contains items?" They defined an integer array, but didn't insert any items and were unsure how to check its contents. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this together. So, what's the deal with arrays? Unlike lists, arrays have a fixed size, and just because they are initialized doesn't mean they contain meaningful data. We'll explore how to check for actual content in your array. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that will make working with arrays even easier. To check if an integer array contains any items or is completely empty, the user can utilize a simple approach. First, they should understand that an array in C# is initialized with default values, which for integers is 0. Next, the user can iterate through the array to check for any non-zero values. If they find a non-zero value, it means the array contains items. If all values are 0, the array is considered empty. Alternatively, the user can use the built-in method to check if the array is empty. They can check the length of the array. If the length is 0, then the array is empty. In summary, the user has two methods to determine if the array contains items. They can either iterate through the array for non-zero values or check the length of the array directly. Fun fact, did you know that in programming, an empty array is often considered a valid state? It's like having a box with nothing in it. Still a box, just empty. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach to check if an array contains any items is to use the all method. First, you create an integer array, which initializes all elements to 0. Then you can check if all elements are the default value by using this code. Bool is empty equals a dot all x equals default int. If 0 is a valid value in your array, consider using a nullable type instead. This way, you can check if all elements are null with bool is empty equals a dot all x equals not x has value. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative approach suggested by a user is to check if all values in the integer array are 0. You can use the all method to do this. If all values are 0, it indicates that the array is empty of meaningful data. Let's take a moment to review another user's answer. An alternative approach shared by another user suggests that when you define an integer array, it initializes with default values. In this case, all elements are set to 0. To check if the array contains any non-zero items, you can use the any method. This method checks if any element in the array is not equal to 0. That's it for that response. Let's explore another one. An alternative approach is to create a custom class that wraps around the array. This class can track whether any items have been added or changed. You define a Boolean variable to indicate if the array has been altered. You can then use the method hasBeenAltered to check if any item in the array has been updated. Initially, it returns false, and after setting a value, it returns true. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always initialize your arrays with a default value if you plan to check for content later. This can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. Now you know how to check if your array contains any items. Remember, understanding your data structures is key to becoming a better programmer. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips and keep coding.